You're listening to In the Lead, the podcast for real estate pros looking to grow their business. Whether you're new to the business or a seasoned pro, we come to you each week with the latest technology and online strategies to help you sell more, work less, and make a difference in your community through your real estate business. This show is brought to you by EasyAgentPro, creators of Lead Sites, the ultimate lead generation website for agents. For show notes and links, check out EasyAgentPro/podcast. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night wherever you EAPers are in this beautiful country of ours. We have another fantastic episode of the In the Lead podcast, and with me today I have the legend, Tyler. How you doing, Tyler?
Fantastic. I'm a legend now?
You're a legend. News. People don't think you exist, man. I'm telling you, they still don't.
I was talking with the guy last night in my email. Shout out to Jeff. He tells me I talk too fast when I'm explaining stuff. But he says hi to you, Chris. So really like
does
you.
he?
Yeah.
Excellent. That's what I like to hear. Well, hi, Jeff. Nice to meet you. Come up with some great questions, man, and we'll be happy to answer them on the show. And Tyler, we'll yell at Tyler to slow it down a little bit because he can get a little heated. We also have Mr. Robert, the man behind the scenes, the Mr. Smith of the Matrix, who takes care of everything for us. He is here as well. How you doing?
How's it going, guys? Doing good.
We lost Tyler.
I'm the it's Ty out of
Ty's
here.
out of here. How are you doing this weekend, man? What have you been up to?
So, just really getting in we took a delay in our development to go hang out at Inman. So we've been really trying to push out this update, and super stoked. It's coming out next week. Really just some good stuff to share. I mean, I guess we may as well just intro.
Yeah, let's get a little teaser. Let me hear it.
Yeah, so we had to rethink kind of the whole product and how everything fits in. We kind of developed really fast. And in the spirit of that, we kind of like had to just take a step back and kind of reorganize ourselves. So we did a full back end redo, really. So you have a better blogging experience. We have Google Analytics integrated into you can see it on your post data. So it's really a smarter site and just more user friendly, which is, it's fully mobile. You can use it on your phone, a tablet. And we're just really excited to bring that to you. And more importantly, we kind of created the opening for our future development. So we have a lot of cool stuff in the works, and super excited to share that.
Super stuff.
Can't talk about that right now. Now, if you follow Beat Zillow, you know what I'm talking about.
Definitely, yeah. I know that a lot of people have been asking questions in support about it. I know that I kind of tease on a little bit of it too during our coaching sessions and stuff. So we just wanted to let you guys know that it is in the works and it is going to be super awesome. And Robert is working really hard on it. We know that because we can't get a hold of him the entire day because he's typing away 1,000,000 miles a second. So that's pretty good.
I stare at buttons all day and make decisions about them.
Tyler stares at analytics and Robert stares at buttons. So
every day. And there's actually an interesting question in Beat Zillow about someone was using Facebook forms versus landing pages. And it's so interesting because you think like the ease of those forms they get you a cheaper conversions, but then when you track it through to ROI, it's actually not as good as the landing page because you can come up with whatever reason. I have my own reasons.
I want to hear some of these reasons. Give me one.
Well, we think that, for example, like it's too easy, so you start getting bad or worse leads, people that don't actually want to talk to you.
Oh, okay.
Because they're just using the auto information in there, and so like that's just the stuff like. You stare at it, and you have all these preconceived notions, but until you actually like spend a significant amount of money and set up a significant amount of ads, you just don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Can you say that again slower, though?
Just a little slower.
No, that's great information. Hopefully I don't know who actually asked that one in Beat Zillow, but hopefully they listen to the podcast and they'll kind of get a little tidbit on it. And ask more questions. We'll be happy to answer it. With that said, I'm just going to jump right into it. We had some fantastic questions in the Beat Zillow group today. Unfortunately, Kelvin's not here to help out that much because we know Tyler likes to blow smoke in your ears, and Robert doesn't really know what he's doing, so we'll be all right. The first one I want to start off with and just jump right into it is my main man, Rakan. This dude's killing it on his site. He's got some great blog content, doing all sorts of stuff, and he just had a really great idea, and I wanted to talk to you two about it since you guys are, the masterminds behind EasyAgentPro. Rakan asked or said, holding literally a virtual open house. You run the Facebook ad for the listing that leads to a squeeze page where they sign in at, just like they would in a normal open house. When they sign in, they have it redirect to a 3D virtual tour, and he uses Matterport. And he's hoping to try this out on a new listing that's coming out in a couple of days. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, that's actually super interesting, Rakan. So what I think is that if it's something valuable, you can easily get leads with it, right? So a 3D tour. So you've just got to market that correctly with the ad copy. So what I would do is I'd pick like a crazy image, and then for the text on that ad itself, mention something about like want to imagine living in your dream home or the 3D tour itself. And with that listing, you can then get more people interested in it from Facebook by running, maybe something about the angle or the headline being want to see what it's living like in this new house or this new neighborhood or an XYZ community. Then they click here to see the 3D tour being the call to action. So the headline I would use would be something about living in the community house or area. Do I think it will work? It could potentially work, like pretty much everything in marketing. It depends on whether people in your area have seen these or not. So there's a novelty to 3D tours. It's like in the novelty stage right now. And so that tends to get good conversions when it's still new. It also is probably going to be like a really good listing getting tool, right? So at future listings, you can take screenshots of this and show it to the people when you're at their house, and it can just be the thing that you do that no one else comes in with. So I think there's potential there for it to convert. I would set up the ad along those lines and run it against lookalike audiences in those areas, and I think you'd stand a pretty good shot. Robert, you tend to think differently of 3D tours and drones than I do. What do you think?
So, well, I don't know. What do you think about doing, like, what I first think of is it's great to, especially if you're running an ad campaign, to highlight a main feature of a house. Like, you're not going to believe this office. You're not going to believe this kitchen.
Yeah.
Access the 3D tour, check it out. Like, you can hype up a feature and then have some kind of mystery and a reason why you'd actually even want to go on a 3D tour. Because other than that, like, it's kind of just a random house with a tour. So you're like, I don't even know if I want to check out this house.
Right. So that's the argument against it. I would say that the novelty element of it is going to get opt-ins, and then those people aren't going to be interested in buying that house. They might be interested in buying a house, probably not that one.
True.
Because people usually come in with, they need X bedrooms, X bath, right, X square feet, X distance from my work. And so that, but that's why you're not selling. That's why I wouldn't sell that in the ad copy itself. I would sell like the imagine living here, almost like what Airbnb does with their ads, where you're like the videos of like imagine being here.
My take on it, the way that I look at it, and I'm going to have to agree with Tyler on it being kind of a novelty thing. Really play on that. Use a really good play of words, or even ask the potential lead a question, right? Can't make it to this open house? Well, guess what? We've got it here for you, like you're there yourself. Maybe something like that. Like you said, the novelty thing of being able to just look at it on your screen and get a 3D tour, or throw some glasses on, it's pretty cool. So
the one cold water I would throw on it, and this, you can do whatever with this, depends on your business philosophy, really. But it's like that house in most markets right now, because most markets are sellers markets, is going to sell in a week if it's good property. And if it's not a good property, you're not doing a 3D tour of it because the economics don't work out. And so I would say that you're going to spend this time getting a house marketed on Facebook, and by time that ad campaign warms up, because Facebook ad campaigns take a while to warm up. It takes about 3 to 5 business days for an ad campaign to reach what it probably will be doing. And so in that period of time in a hot market, I mean, you might not even have the house under contract. I know that's the way it is in lots of different markets. So it might not even be a feasible lead gen strategy unless you're selling those people on different houses, or unless you're using it as a tool to then get more listings.
Right. And with that said, I mean, like Tyler said, everything is marketable. So try it. It won't hurt to try it out. Give it a shot, advertise it, and let everybody know on the BeatZilla group how, if it was successful or not. Let them know, more importantly, like I always say, let them know if it failed. Hey, tried the 3D squeeze page campaign, tanked, bad. We're always hoping for the best, but occasionally that does happen, and it'd be nice to know and figure out if that did work. So I'm really, really curious about that one. I thought that was a fantastic question. Did you want to elaborate any more, Robert, or are you happy with that?
No, I'm pretty happy on that. I think I would just be, repeating some stuff.
Cool. Very cool. We will move on to Jessica Mushevic. I hope I said your last name right. I actually coached this lady. She was a really cool individual. She's got all sorts of really fantastic questions for us, and she's getting to that stage where she's now running with the site, which is fantastic. And she asked, what do you think is the most effective way to market your coming soon listing? She's new to EAP and just wanted some decent answers for it. If you want to go ahead and take it, Robert, go ahead.
So with a coming soon listing, you're really trying to build hype, like pre-hype. So you'd want to sign up, like you could have your future open house. You could have a landing page that's signing up for that. You could have free, like you could do a private tour before it's actually on the market. So you could have like kind of a VIP thing. And I think there's just quite a few different angles you could take. Get first dibs on this around that topic to kind of get them to entice to your landing page.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think, Ty?
Yeah, so once again, it depends on the season. Like, what's your goal here? Are you trying to provide value to the seller, or are you trying to get buyer leads? I would say that if you're trying to get buyer leads, I would put you see the 32 hidden pictures of this house that's coming to market in XYZ neighborhood, county, or whatever the hot, if it's in the hot area of town, use that name, and then make a squeeze page for that where they click to see the pictures, they get to the squeeze page, they enter their information, and then it redirects them to either an InstaFarm page for that individual house or the MLS listing if your MLS does coming soon properties.
Or a 3D video.
Yeah, right?
Or a 3D video if you do that, but that's not really economical unless it's over $400,000, $500,000, which I'm not sure what area she's in, but depending on your area, that might not even be a realistic thing right now for the price point. So that's what I would do to generate leads from a coming soon listing for buyers. If you're just trying to provide value to the seller, one of the cool things right now with Facebook is it's really cheap to get video views. So I would make a coming soon video and get it 3,000 views for probably 1 cent a view, so that's pretty cheap, and then that's some value that you provided to the seller of people
She's
in the area.
California,
that
so it might be
could work.
3D might be potential then, but that's what I would do with video on Facebook. If you're just looking to provide value to the seller, where you're like, hey, this hasn't even hit the market, and I got 3,000 views on Facebook for people that have seen it, and then you provide it for a cheap price value to the seller, and it will help you sell it faster, which may or may not be a problem depending on what market you're in. And I do the first one with the hidden pictures to the landing page if you're looking to get buyer leads.
There you go.
Yeah, you have to. And what not to do, right? What should we not? What should we avoid
that's more
doing?
important too, right?
Really throwing up a coming soon 1234 Road Street 87111 and then doing a picture. It's those are they don't
They're
entice you
dozen,
into.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of it's what you want to avoid. What else do you guys think you should not do?
It's tough, man, especially in a market. She's in San Diego, I believe. So the housing market there is pretty aggressive. Spamming it across the thing will work, especially like you said for the YouTube views. I really don't think there's really not much you can't mess up on that. It's a pretty aggressive market and will sell relatively fast, I feel like. Hopefully, if it's a good listing, right? I mean, that's the thing is we don't really know. What about you, Tyler? You probably know a little bit more about it than I do.
I would make sure you have I would like not do anything until you had a goal in mind.
Yeah, right?
Otherwise, you're just wasting money.
Yeah, there you go.
know, like you need to decide if it's buyer leads you're going after, if you're trying to provide value to the seller, if you're showing your video skills off, if you're trying to incorporate 3D listings into your listing presentation. Decide what it is that you're trying to do, and then do that.
Well, and the thing that maybe she should take into account as well. This is her first time actually showing an up and coming listing. She's very brand new to EAP. She's still learning about the marketing techniques that we use to help generate leads as well. So, take this one that you do with a huge grain of salt. If it's very successful, you get your plan in place, like Tyler's saying, and you run the YouTube video, get those really cheap clicks on there, and then you can show people, look, there's 3,000 people who've already seen this property. It's hot. It's going really, really hot. That works really, really well. It could crash and burn as well, and that's just something that you have to take, learn, and then figure out what did work and what didn't work, and then adjust for your next featured listing that's coming up as well.
Yeah, we've done a lot of bad ad campaigns, and by doing the bad ones, we get better. One of the things I would say is that if you're, like, for example, if you're looking for how this can be a unilateral success, one of the age-old real estate tactics is marketing to people in the same neighborhood of the house you just sold. So let's say you don't want a bunch of buyer leads, you're a listing agent, which I'm assuming, I have no idea. So what you could do is you could use my video strategy I hinted at earlier, where you make the video, it's coming soon, and then market it on Facebook, and you get, before the house is listed, 3,000 video views at 1 cent a view. So that's a cost to you of, let me do my math here. That's like
He's
$30.
That's literally $30.
Yeah, $30.
So like $30. And then what you can do is you can market to everyone else in that area who's a likely home seller via Facebook. And you can set up a landing page that says, learn how I got Jim and Jane's house with 30,000 or 3,000 views on their video before their house even hit the market.
There you go.
You should list
That's
with
a
me.
good idea.
You can turn that into a squeeze page with an ad, right? But that's not realistic until you know exactly what your plan is, right? Are you a listing agent? Are you a buying agent? Or like, if you want buyers, then that's not really going to help you get more buyers. That's going to help you get sellers, which might not be your goal.
Yeah, there you go. To answer your question, Robert, I guess what not to do. Do not get overwhelmed. Do not get frustrated. It is part of the learning process, and that's how you should take it. That's my don't, personally.
There we go.
Yeah. Take it step by step, exactly like Tyler's saying. And I mean, he's said it plenty of times on every other podcast that we've had. Here at EAP, we focus on one thing at a time. Take it step by step, and that's your recipe for success, and it'll work for you too. So I think that was...
We've just started Google Ads. Yeah. Like literally this week, we started Google Ads. Do you know how long we've been in business?
And we're learning. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know personally since you guys are doing it, but I'm sure you've hit a roadblock here or there. I'm sure you've failed a couple times, and you're learning from it, right? So, I mean, it works out. That was a fantastic question. Just for how sweet, short, and simple it was. That one was pretty good. Thank you so much, Jessica, for that. I hope we helped you out. Corey Dunphy, one of our other longtime EAP awesome members, Tyler had posted, I believe, a blog post, if I remember correctly. And she's just asking if you can explain a section of the post that she copied and pasted. And I will link, I'm marking it down right now that I will link this into the show notes for you guys as well. And she's asking, when Tyler, you were quoted saying you can set up your ad to boost the post through the traditional Facebook advertising page. This will give you more options than if you simply click the boost button. If you do this, you'll be able to target only people who are likely to move. This will significantly increase the likelihood of you messaging someone who is interested in buying or selling real estate. Corey says that she usually just hits the boost button. How do you do it the other way that you were talking about? And if you could elaborate a little bit more on it, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, so the way to set up Facebook ads, I think, is to go to Facebook. There's a little arrow in the corner, and you click the drop-down arrow, and you get to an ads dashboard. And that's where you can manage your ads more effectively. And you can set up really like nitty-gritty ad campaigns there. If you're just clicking the boost button, it doesn't really give you good targeting options that you might otherwise want. So I would recommend doing that. Another service that we are not affiliated with, we don't get paid if you sign up for, is Ad Espresso, like the coffee espresso. It makes it really easy to set up and test campaigns. We use it. It's how we're able to manage close to 5,000 Facebook ads running right now as we're recording this podcast. So that's sort of a paid way. And then the Facebook Ad Manager is they're making it better every day. So it's easier and easier to set up ads that way. The other thing I'd look at that is not as well known, but they do have an iOS app now. I'm not sure if it's on Android yet. Probably is. But you can download that and you can access your targeting specifics pretty easily from there on an iPhone, Android type manner. So it's more like an app. So download that, see if you like that too. So those are 3 tools I'd recommend.
Awesome. I know that Robert mainly focuses on like email campaigns and stuff like that. Do you have anything you want to say, or I know that this is kind of...
I would say once you figure out where all this stuff is, you kind of open Pandora's box, and you're gonna see all these cool search queries that you can do, like likely to move, and you can control gender, age, all this, like income, all this stuff. Yeah. Don't get too carried away and start with a bunch of, like too narrow of an audience at first, because you have no clue. That's why it's important, like Ty was saying, to figure out your goal before you start, so that way you know what to look for as a positive sign of improvement. And then you can start narrowing down your focus to see what that actually is and if it matches your hypothesis. So that's my 2 cents.
Bill Nye, that was pretty good. I like that. That was really
save some money. Just don't go too.
Bill
crazy.
Nye the Science. It's coming back full circle.
Isn't Bill Nye actually he has a new show coming out, I think, on YouTube or Netflix or something. So that'll be cool.
I hope so.
Yeah. So that was a fantastic question, Corey. We always love when you ask us all those great questions, and you really make us think about a lot of stuff. And you called Tyler out, which I liked. You called him out on that. It was a blog post that you posted that in, correct?
Probably. The other thing to pay attention to is, we've been around 3-4 years right now, and blogging's been around 15 years. So be careful what you're reading, because Facebook ads have changed dramatically in the last 6 months.
Absolutely.
Right? They've changed really dramatically in the last 6 months. So I'd question where she got this from and if it's been made in the last 6 months, because some of the stuff that we're changing, you can go back and find blog posts of people recommending doing what's your home worth ads on Facebook and saying they get $2 leads. Well, that ship has come and sailed. You missed it. So, watch where you're getting your information in the immediacy of it, because Facebook ads, there are literally 12 things that Facebook ads have added in January 2017. And you've got to be aware of that, because otherwise you'll start looking at stuff that just simply is not going to really be relevant. Here, for example, here are some of the top updates. You can now run ads in Messenger. You can now, they're going to be releasing soon mid-ad roll on videos, which means that in the middle of videos, there will be an ad on Facebook, kind of like what YouTube does, but it'll be a mid-roll, not a pre-roll. You can now do dynamic ads, which basically, that doesn't affect real estate too much, but that affects any sort of e-commerce thing. You can advertise in Instagram stories. And there's now sort of a live audio content added to Facebook, where instead of just going live on video, you can go live on audio. And all of that happened in January 2017. All those changes happened in January 2017. So
Robert, now you're literally going to be able... You're going to literally be able to run a video on top of another agent's video?
Yeah.
That's going to be... That's going to be insane.
Robert, you got a lot of catching up to do on the updates on the EAP, dude. Look at what Facebook did in 1 month. Come on.
No, I had never thought of that, and running on top of another successful agent in your town.
It's their play at becoming TV and video platform, because they'll split that ad revenue like YouTube does, 55-45, where they take 45% and then the content creator takes 55%, which is how YouTube was able to develop such a big creator list, because then they make money from the video views, not just getting video views and converting it somewhere else.
Boom. Dang. I just learned a whole bunch of stuff. That was cool.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you take this seriously, because you got to take something. Like, you either got to go practice cold calling scripts 8 hours a day and cold call people 8 hours a day, or you've got to take this seriously. Right. Pick your poison. It's business.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully that helped you out. I thought that was great. That's some great content. I actually have been writing notes down on this podcast, making a lot of notes.
I'll send you the link after this. You can put it in the show notes
absolutely.
for people.
That'd be great. Thank you very much. We have 2 more really great questions. I think that we had even more on there, but I'm going to save them for another podcast. And I'm sure you guys will come up with plenty of other ones. Dave Treat asked, I've been thinking about developing a Facebook ad campaign focusing on providing a guide for real estate financing. I thought it would be good to partner with a lender to develop a guide that can be offered for free and lead them to eventually apply online. Perhaps jump to the lender's site for a squeeze page. Since you guys are so creative, I thought I would run it past you and see what you guys think. Feedback's appreciated.
I'm surprised more agents don't help have lenders pay for their stuff. I think that it's just an obvious partnership. They're dying for leads, and you have a lot of good ones that they should. So I don't know why more agents don't have lenders pay for their lead site. I don't know why more agents don't partner with a lender and get $1,000 a month on Facebook ad spend that they can then spend. A lot of these guys are attached to big banks and have marketing budgets. And if you can show them that, this is going to get views, clicks, and leads, a lot of them are willing to partner with you. So I would find a vendor, I would make that goal number 1, and just set in a week I'm going to have someone that I'm doing ads with.
And then check it out. So your partnership with this vendor has nothing to do with what you actually put out online. So I would think about whether Ty, you didn't address the topic of the question.
No, I didn't.
Which was it's going to be a guide about lending. And I'm that's the least sexiest thing I've ever
heard. Yeah.
Ever heard in your life, yeah.
I'm get the guide to lending. I'm oh man, I would run away from
when
that.
I'm on a date with a girl, that's what I say. That's the first one that I pull out.
That's how Chris gets it staged.
I actually wrote the agent's guide to lending. So
for example, here's there's. We've actually partnered, and they're going to be coming out soon with a few people where we're co-creating an ebook, and then we're splitting the cost of the emails. We're doing one with a CRM provider and then one with a coach. And so that helps us lower the cost per acquisition, grow our email list, and grow our people that buy our product. And that's what you should do. But the topic of that ebook isn't why you should use EasyAgentPro and WiseAgent. That's just not a good ebook. The download cost for that ebook would probably be $15 to $30 a download for an email address. And if you made it for example, this is true. I can pull this up and prove it. Maybe I'll send. I'll send. Chris, I'll send you the screen grab. But it was $350 to get email addresses for an ebook of the 10 email templates agents should be sending to people, right? And then that they're agents in real estate. They do leads, and so it's a good thing, and it's cheaper than going after there the first way. So I would say partner with the lender and then make the ebook something that is different than that title. Robert, what would you?
Robert's gears are turning aggressively. I can see it.
Just we'll make it easy for the lender to say yes and get him to fund your ad spend. So if you can figure out a campaign that consistently pulls leads and you have a certain number of clients it generates, and that would be a certain number of people you could possibly refer to them, figure out what that looks like for them. And you can kind of figure out that could be some great ad spend and charge appropriately for it. Cause you have if you're going to do the legwork on it, you have the power to supercharge their business. Then you should work in a way for you guys both to keep it going. And it doesn't have to be about the lender's services, and it doesn't have to be about lending. It could just be an advertising partnership where you are the official lender, and here's what it requires. $1,000 a month Facebook ad spend, and that's going to keep clients flowing into my business, and that'll keep clients flowing into your business.
Right.
I just looked it up. It was $2 an email for 10 email templates, right? And so what Robert said is really true. And so I would look at what what has worked with people in Beat Zillow. We have probably like, even today we published like the 8 Facebook ad campaigns and some results from them on our blog. So I'd pick one of those and then partner with the lender, like Robert said, and see if they can't fund you $1,000 a month.
And you know what I've seen too with a couple of people that I've coached, they'll even on their menu, their tab for the buyers section, they'll actually link a PDF download to like, here, first time home buyer, here's the easy steps with this preferred lender on what you should expect when you're applying for a loan, something like that. That's another great way, talk to your preferred lender about that and say, look, you guys are going to get a spot on my menu. If you could fork up some cash for advertising, we could even advertise you even more. So there's all sorts of really great things that you can partner up with those individuals.
Exactly. And then when you have a buyer and they're in the process of looking for a lender, that's when it's appropriate to show lender material, guide to lending. This guide was provided by our friends over
it's
here.
It's a second date. And you're getting to second
it's like,
base.
Right, you're just in the space to even think about that. And like, oh, I actually do need this information. This is great. Thanks for that. Right. And instead of, checking out what happened in a football game or something, it's like, okay, so.
Cool. I think that was fantastic. I mean, it's a great idea. And I agree 100% with Tyler. It blows my mind that not a lot of agents think about a preferred lender or partnering up with an individual like that. It just supercharges both ends of your business, right? Hey, you're pre-approved for the loan, and it goes vice versa. It goes the other way around. You're pre-approved for this loan. I've got the most badass real estate agent that I know that will get you in a house immediately. It goes both ways. So it's really, really cool to partner up with that. I think that was a fantastic question. And then definitely make sure you let us know how that works out, right? We always want to know. Last one for the day. Sean Clark had a really good question. He said, what are single agents using for their name of their business Facebook page? Just your name with realtor or real estate agent behind it. Are you using some other brand name? I'm currently using Sean Clark Realtor, but I've also tried other things like Buy Smart Maryland or Middle River Home Values. I'm thinking at this point, without a team name, I want to brand myself, but I could also brand a name like my domain, Maryland House Hunt. What do you guys think is best for long term? And just as important, what do you think is most effective for ads? So I think this is a fantastic question. It's right down Tyler's alley.
Yeah, I would say, first, I would say never change your domain name ever.
That's 3 podcasts in a row now. So we said that.
unless someone's holding a gun to your child's head and won't give it back to you unless you change your domain name. So I don't understand this. I don't understand how this became a thing in real estate where you change your domain name every 2 years. I don't understand it at all. In terms of domain names and how they affect ads, I would say that most of the time your ad on Facebook and on Google is not prevalent at all. So I don't know how impactful it would be there. The name for the Facebook page is very prevalent, so that will impact it. In terms of what I would actually suggest in the case that you're starting from scratch and in the case that you are not changing your domain name is not using Realtor because they get really finicky about that and they do own the copyright. So I would not use that just so that just to future-proof yourself so that there's no problems there if you ever don't want to be a part of the association or whatever it is. I would not use that. I think the stats, and some people may hate me for saying this, but I think the stats bear out that people don't care about that term in 2017 in a significant way that will impact your ads. So if you're asking, I would say I would keep home values out of that because that's just one part of your business. Buy Smart Maryland, that's a pretty good one. I could see that being, in 30 years still being relevant. Maryland House Hunt, that's also good. If you want to use your name, that's fine. Just make sure in 30 years that, if you're a team or something, that's still relevant. And that probably would be. So I would go with, your name or some type of what are those words called? Not the adjective. So some type of adjective with the area that you're in, right? So
Grammar
you're on the
lessons.
right track.
We
I
got,
know
we're
grammar
doing
lessons with
we're
Ty.
doing addition, we're doing subtraction, and we're doing grammar. Tyler's killing it today.
Yeah.
So buy Smart Maryland or words with your name in it. Those are all great. But overall, like, just don't change your domain name.
I think he's going to have an aneurysm if we talk about it on another podcast. I can see.
And think about the stuff that you actually share on Facebook. It's not usually from a single person. It's usually from a company. So Steve Jobs didn't start Steve Jobs Computer Company. He started Apple Company. So he had a goal to grow a massive corporation. So your end goal depends on it. And it sounds like you're saying what's the best for long term and all this stuff. So the best long term, I'd imagine, is building something that your team can envelop under. And that's usually not just a single name. It would be like, it would be just like Buy Smart Maryland. And that could be a team of 50. That could be a team of 2. And
Right.
it stays relevant over time. So then you can actually, like, if you're going to spend money on advertising and creating a brand name, like, changing it is the worst thing you could ever do. So
We had, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we also did have, like, I think it was the last podcast or 2 podcasts ago, we had a question from somebody saying, what's a good name for me to sell later too? So like Robert's saying, what's your end goal? Are you trying to build up a corporation that you can sell down the line and then just live off of the revenue off of that? Are you trying to just create just for yourself, a side project or whatever? That's another one.
Yeah, and like make it match your business cards too, and the name that people like EasyAgentPro is EasyAgentPro.com, is EasyAgentPro, is like our Facebook page, EasyAgentPro. Yeah, it's important. People are very bombarded these days. It's really hard to become known, and you want to that repetition of it being the same everywhere is very important.
My apologies.
Well, check it out. I just did a search on Google for like Albuquerque homes for sale. So the team pages that come up that are ranking first: Welcome Home ABQ, ABQ Dream Homes, Real Estate and ABQ, Albuquerque Real Estate Place, Homes NM. Like none of them. They're just, that's what people actually can like relate to and share. And it feels, for some reason, it feels different when you're sharing a person's stuff. Sharing a State Farm article is a lot different than sharing an insurance agent's article.
Right.
So I think creating a brand that you can, and it also lets you talk about other stuff. Because it lets you talk about, on a Welcome Home ABQ page, you can talk about anything that's cool in Albuquerque.
Right.
Like that is just a brand that exists not just to sell real estate. That's how you make money and fund it. But you can also create a community of your city that you love. So it gives you, it makes social media a lot easier if you're doing it from a value perspective versus me, I'm Bob the agent, trying to just show you my listings and all this stuff.
That's a great point that you come up. And I'm curious about both of your guys' opinions on this. As a buyer, right? Let's just specify in buyers. I know that there's 2 different sides. You have buyers and sellers, and even something in between. As a buyer, or even as a seller, it's hard for me to really fall in love with the RE/MAX balloon. I want to know the person who's helping me sell the home, right? So how are you able to combat that with just coming up with like ABQ homes for sale, right? How are you able to still personalize something like that?
Okay, hey Chris, I'm with blah blah real estate. Mm-hmm. Do you want to hire me? Hey, Chris, I'm with RE/MAX Real Estate. Do you want to hire me? Like,
right.
Which one? Right. I mean, name recognition is a huge thing.
Right.
That's why, if you if you're working for, that's to your advantage, but you still have that on the bottom of your site, and it's still nice as like a trust logo, but it's not so much like, I agree.
Like a brand recognition, right? Like you could be Chris McHale with Coldwell Banker, right?
Yep.
And that's the thing is I just find it with these names, like even if you had if you're just doing flying solo and you create this catchy logo and this name, but your name is not in it, it's really hard for a person like myself who's so visual to be like, okay, well, I get it. River's Edge Realty is a thing, but Chris McHale is the guy who's actually selling my house. I want to know more about him. Does that make sense?
That's your job. Yeah. And that's what we infuse into lead sites.
Right.
It's like we repeat
like
your
that
name
shameless plugging.
over. Yeah. That's why I don't mean to,
no, I agree.
In the spirit of get value, but we legit, the name is written everywhere, and it's your job to do that through your content, through explaining through what's the inside your site, who you are and how you can help them. And that's just value proposition stuff. The brand name is like what you like in a 2-second time on Facebook. Do I look at that and want to click it? You have like a split second decision, like, ew, that's an agent. Oh, cool, this is an Albuquerque Facebook page. I would click that. And you're like, it's just like, do yourself a favor and just set it up for the most likely to click. We can't, you may want to be named something, but like, we split tested EasyAgentPro. We split tested our colors. We did everything at the beginning.
Huh? Cool.
Yeah, we were almost called diamond agents. Imagine that with a Z.
Hard pass.
But
hard pass on that one.
It's just nice to see what, like, you just have to do what works. And that's what, you can't be too tied to the problem. And like Ty said, never change your domain no matter what. So you might want to think before you start building your web presence.
I think Rakan actually had this question a while back too. And I told him that. I said, step one, dude, don't even worry about it. Like, not worth changing your domain name at all. Even if it's just your name, Rakan. He's had his site for almost 6 months now. The thing is it's a fine cognac at this point, right? You don't want to ruin that. You've generated all this great SEO. You've built up all this wonderful content. You've stayed relevant in your area, and that's how people know you now. If you did, what do you guys think about maybe changing a logo or something to something different? Or would you say just don't even touch it, just leave it be? Tyler, you probably know, or so whoever.
I would say, so I don't know, like, to me, this stuff just gives me the hives. Like, I hate this talk. And I can't express that enough, because you're pretending to play business. Like, you're just like, oh, what's my name? And this really matters. And like, no one cares. So like, I just think that, like, if you're this like concerned of, like, what are you going to do when it comes to make your Facebook ad? Like, are you going to like sit around and think about that for 5 days too? Because every single time I've done that, like, from experience, every single time I've come up with this like great hypothesis, I'm always wrong. Everyone's always wrong with Facebook ads and what will actually work for them. And you think you think lead ads are going to work. You think this really cool lender landing page is going to work. And then you like put it out there and the market decides. And so like, I think it's something you just go with it. And you do it, and then you go do like something that is actually tied to the result you're trying to achieve in your business, which is probably growth in some capacity. And if you're trying to grow, I would say that you like, that's Facebook ads, that's blogging, that's SEO. There's a ton of things you can do. That's cold calling, that's door knocking. And a logo is just,
I know, it's so minuscule,
like,
right?
Maybe a couple, like it's just, I would really stress that a lot of people listening to this podcast are not in the place where they should be like spending hours about that topic.
Robert, do you want to chime in?
No, you pretty much said what I said, though. It's just like, and it wasn't about a logo, it's about a name.
Right.
So my point was that, like, on Facebook, set yourself up for your business goals and just be a brand and not a person, like, start that, because that's how you're going to attract people to your Facebook page. And that's how you're going to actually create a community and have a chance of using Facebook as a traffic source and a lead source and a sales source. So it's pretty good.
I think this podcast was loaded with a ton of information from the two head honchos. That was pretty good. Definitely.
Yeah, just had to kick Kelvin off of it.
To make it good, right? That's all we had to do.
Oh, we miss you, Kelvin.
We do. Hopefully he can jump in on the next one. Definitely, you folks, we love you very much. We appreciate all the things you do for Easy Agent Pro. We appreciate the questions. Feel free to send us some at support. Email at support@easyagentpro.com. Shoot us a tweet on @EasyAgentPro. Or shoot us a question on the Facebook group Beat Zillow, and we'll be happy to answer it. You guys will get a little bit of call time too, some airtime, which will be pretty cool. So, with that said, thank you so much for listening to another fantastic episode. I just personally want to thank Tyler and Robert for sitting in on this one. They did a great job giving you all the really important information that might help you guys succeed or fail, whatever. We'll see what happens.
Go set up those Facebook ads. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Just do it. Just do it.
So now's the time, guys. Go ahead and say goodbye. Give your 2 cents in, and we're out of here.
Thanks for listening,
everyone.
Guys.
Thanks for listening.
Later.
Thank you for listening to In the Lead. If you have enjoyed the show, be sure to subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher and leave us an honest review. For more great content, check out our blog at EasyAgentPro.com. And as always, we'll see you later.